competitive property market, you need to have an edge.
Because it's open, it would put 9 out of 10 buyers off.
Right, OK.
So today I give 3 more sellers the chance to check out each other's houses.
I don't feel like I've got much competition after the 2 houses that I've seen.
Before they try to sell their own.
This could be an incredible space, but I feel at the moment it's utterly wasted.
From cramped kitchens...
This is tiny.
...to inadequate bedrooms.
There's no storage space. It's just that one cupboard and that's it.
They've got a grand and a week to ring the changes.
It looks better than what I thought it was going to do.
Without making things worse.
First time for everything, isn't it?
But will any of them have done enough to impress my buyer?
Ideal for renting, moving straight away, nothing to do with it.
Yep.
A lovely house.
I'm in the city of Bradford in Yorkshire, known as the curry capital of Britain. In the last 12 months, property prices in the surrounding area have risen by 6%, which is lower than the national average. This means my 3 rival sellers are going to have to work much harder to catch the attention of my buyer, Graham. He's a builder and property investor who's looking for a house he can rent out.
This is purely business, isn't it?
That's right, that's correct.
It's all with the head.
Yeah, all in the head.
Yeah. I know you've bought and sold lots of different properties in your time. So what are the things that you look for in a rental property?
You need something what's homely. All I look at is it going to rent OK?
What about a garden? Is outside space as important?
Gardens is nice. It makes it look nice, and also it gets you got a better catchment of tenant, you know, with a garden. But on the other hand, you've got to look at the fact that it's got to be maintainable.
Is there anything that would turn you off? Any big no-nos?
Dark decorations, you know, dark carpets and things like that. Flowery, big heavy flowers. A lot of people don't like them.
So you're not into the old florals then?
No.
So nothing too chintzy for our Graham then, who has a budget of up to £150,000. I've picked 3 properties that could all make great family rentals, but they're not quite ready to view yet. The first of my 3 sellers are tax officer Ali and his wife Rahima, who works as a trainee paralegal. This 3-bed semi was originally Ali's bachelor pad.
When I did move, and I've been trying to get rid of little things here and there, this house doesn't reflect my personality at all. It's more like his taste.
I didn't even think of the colour scheme. I just painted it red because of the team that I support, football team.
But it's not the club colours I'm worried about here. The overgrown garden is a real turn-off, and then there's the kitchen.
It's a very small kitchen.
I have to agree with that. It needs more space.
That's one biggest thing I would like to do to this house. I don't like something I want it done right there and then.
Time to get going then, Rahima. This tired 3-bed semi has a cramped kitchen and dining room, and that neglected garden will never work for buyer Graham. It's on the market for £139,950. My next sellers are retired logistics manager George and his daughter Carrie Ann, an ambulance call handler who've played it very safe when it comes to the decor at their 3-bed semi.
I think the colours are all very neutral. There's no cold colours in the house. It's all creams, beiges, sort of pale browns. I would define the house as a blank canvas.
Blank canvas or just bland? But clearly Carrie Ann's not totally averse to a bit of colour.
My clothes are not bland. But clothes you can take off at the end of the day, you can change them, not so much with a house.
I like pale colours, so this just fits nicely.
This sterile 3-bed semi has an overly plain interior, and the lack of character doesn't offer the homely feel that buyer Graham wants. It's also up for sale at £139,950. And on to my final seller, Ruth, who works for the police service, and her 15-year-old daughter, Megan.
I like the house. I like the big proportions of the room. I like the high ceilings. I like it because it's nice and light and bright. My favourite room in the house is my bedroom and bathroom. I love it because of the bare chimney breast walls up there. There's plenty of space in that room.
But no built-in storage means Ruth has annexed the spare room.
I keep my clothes in there, I use it as a dressing room, and it's just there for a spare bedroom if anybody comes to stay.
This impractical terrace has a lack of storage in the loft conversion and an abandoned bedroom. It's the cheapest of the 3 properties, and it's on the market at £137,950. So that's all my sellers. Now they get the chance to have a peek around each other's houses, to pick up tips for their own makeovers. First for inspection is Ali and Rahima's. Now, this house has got bags of potential, but if I'm really honest with you, it also needs an awful lot of work. The cramped kitchen and the cramped dining room will be putting the majority of buyers off, and this garden really isn't a space at the moment that you would want to come out and relax in. First to Snoop are George and Carrie Ann.
Wow, I thought my kitchen was small, but this is tiny. Where's the storage? And I don't like the finish either.
It's quite small and cramped and there's not much space to move and work in.
There isn't. There's no cupboard space for...
No.
Where do you put your food?
Good question, Ruth.
Oh, wow, that's where the fridge is.
That's
It's a bit
an unusual
strange.
place to have it.
It's a very strange room. Is it a dining room? Is it part of the kitchen?
I think it is supposed to be a dining room because the table's there.
Oh, it's too busy.
Too much in here.
Yeah, there's too busy in this room.
Next door in the living room,
The carpet's a bit too dark for myself. I like it lighter, but a lick of paint, a new carpet, and it'll be fine.
I'm guessing you'd prefer a beige one, George. Upstairs, the bedrooms have something Ruth's are lacking.
There's a lot of storage. It's not to my taste, but there's a lot of storage.
Finally, there's the garden.
It reminds me a bit of a town centre with like the paving. It doesn't say garden to
Uneven
me.
paving as well. Yeah, it's,
Doesn't say garden to
no.
me.
It's a nice size, I think. Some nice colourful pots and some hanging baskets. It would look so different.
Anything would be an improvement, Ruth. This house has an asking price of $139,950.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. It needs work doing on it. I think they're expecting a little bit too much.
When you look at the size of ours compared to this, look at the kitchen, look at
Ours
the
has
dining
lots
room.
more space.
Seems they all agree that this house isn't currently worth its asking price. On to George and Carrie Ann's house of many shades of magnolia.
This house is spotless and has obviously been very well looked after, but I feel that the downstairs really lets it down. It's very bland, bordering on clinical and soulless.
First to have a look are Ali and Rahima.
It's just very bland,
No personality to
nothing
it.
at all.
It needs a lot more colour to it.
It does, yeah, definitely.
It's not a family home at all.
I think it'd be nice to see pictures on the wall.
Yeah, the house has no personality because the rooms are so bland.
And on it goes in the conservatory.
I don't know what to say. It's just...
You got no words.
I don't know. Honestly, I've never seen a conservatory underutilised. I've never seen that.
I love this, but it just wants to be seen as more a workable space. It's like...
Yeah, there's just bits and pieces of furniture everywhere and bits of carpets and
It's almost like a storage room when you could have it as the most beautiful room.
It's definitely a missed opportunity. Now to the garden.
Wow, I'd say finally some colour. It's been white inside, green outside.
Compared to our garden, it's much more presentable because it's got so much space that we can make it look nice.
A lot more appealing.
I think the penny has dropped. This house is on the market for just under £140,000.
Oh, I'm really surprised at the price of the house because it's a little bit more than what ours is on the market for. But again, it's the size of it. I have so much space in my house.
Oh,
My God, that's very expensive.
I know, and it's not even a big house.
Surprises all round over the price. Last but not least is Ruth and Megan's Impractical Terrace.
This house has the potential to be a fantastic family home, but I just feel that some of the bedrooms have been badly laid out and designed and could do with an injection of colour. But the other sellers should take note of the wonderful, warm, welcoming atmosphere here.
Ali and Rahima should certainly see the benefits of the open-plan kitchen diner.
The kitchen's quite nice.
It is spacious.
That's what I want in our kitchen.
In our
Break the wall
kitchen.
down and get one of them in. But at least we know what we can do with our kitchen. Something similar.
Got something in our mind now.
We've got an idea at least.
A light bulb moment for Ali. Next is what should be the spare bedroom.
I feel that wood and it reminds me of a sauna.
Yeah.
It does. It just feels like I walked into a sauna.
Wow.
Well, at the moment, it's study / bedroom / with a little bit of money spent, you can probably make it into like a closed bedroom or a study.
If you board that open, you can make it into a bedroom.
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
think it'd be a good space for that.
Upstairs to the master bedroom.
There's no
There's no storage
storage.
space.
It's just that one
Yeah.
cupboard and that's it.
That's not even a cupboard, it's a drawer. Just room,
unless
isn't
no
it?
one actually sleeps here, I don't know. It's just too nice to be empty room.
But there is always the ensuite.
What I'm not so keen on is there's a lot of space there.
I totally agree with her, yeah. It's wasted space.
This 3-bed terrace house is for sale at £137,950.
I think that is a reasonable price.
I totally agree with you on that one. It's a very good price for what you get, what the buyer gets.
Wow, that's a bit expensive.
I know. Ours is 139,950.
And we have a bigger house as well.
Clearly a difference of opinion there then. I'm in the city of Bradford, where 3 competing sellers hope to revamp their homes and get an offer from my buyer, Graham, a property investor.
I'm looking really to purchase a property that it's going to be rentable and, you know, it's nice and clean inside.
My 3 homeowners have all been poking around each other's homes, but instead of taking tips, they're all feeling a bit cocky.
Both houses, our houses should.
I think, yeah,
there's
there's
a lot
no
more better.
competition. There's definitely no competition at all.
We've got far more to offer than both of the houses that we've actually seen today.
I don't feel like I've got much competition after the 2 houses that I've seen.
Seems I've got a job on my hands with this lot, so time for some tough talking before I hand over their £1,000 budget. Starting at Ali and Rahima's, and at least I know we're in agreement with where we need to begin.
So this, I guess, is probably one of the biggest reasons that your property isn't selling, isn't it? The dining room and the minuscule kitchen.
It needs updating.
Yeah. Most buyers now want big, open plan family living. So would you be up for taking the wall down?
Yeah, I don't mind.
When I say you, Ali, I don't mean you. I mean someone that knows what they're doing. Don't you start at it with a sledgehammer.
I was thinking of doing it myself, but...
Yeah. See, that's what puts the fear of God into me. I think with anything like that, particularly if you're taking down a wall, first of all, you need to get an expert's opinion on it.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I adore about this house is that. Came in here, saw that and thought, oh, that's so lovely. It's original, isn't it? Did you? It was here when you moved in.
We came in, yeah.
What I love about this is I love all the colours that you've got going on in here. So one of the things that you could do with this room is go with the colours that you've got in here and just enhance it. This is a sort of a much paler green, so I'm going to road test it. I want to see how you are with colour. It's quite a neutral, not too offensive colour. What are we thinking about that one?
Yeah, that's okay.
it's
Yeah,
nice.
Like that.
It's a lighter colour, so.
Yeah, I quite like that. And this one is a more modern colour. It's bolder. Trouble is as well, when you get paint, you can never tell until you actually put them on the wall. See, I really like that.
That's better, actually, yeah.
See, I think that's rather lovely.
That's nice.
It's just too in your face.
Yeah, so,
You'll have to twist my arm to get that in.
I think it's nice.
Have words, Ali, have words. Right, let's get out into the garden. Shall I lead the way? Yeah. If I was an estate agent and I was showing somebody your property and I came out into this garden, I would struggle to find anything positive to say about it.
Yeah.
There's no lawn, there's lots of weeds, it's on a slope, there's loads of broken rubble everywhere. My suggestion would be pay somebody to come in. I would think £10 an hour would be a safe bet or a safe estimate. I would get all of the weeds out here and get this levelled off as much as I could. In an ideal world, you would get turf down, but that again would start getting expensive. Potentially think about maybe painting the wall at the back there,
Yeah.
because that brick wall really doesn't make you think, oh, that's lovely and relaxing. I'd like to come out here and have my morning coffee. And then just maybe something like a table and chairs that you can get from a junk shop, reclamation yard, maybe a little pot with some flowers on it, just to give the impression of what you could have. Does it seem like a lot to take on?
Hopefully I can do it.
I'm sure you can rely on me.
Yeah. Are you up for this as well, Rahima? I mean, how much?
I'm always open to challenges.
You're all right at
anyway.
painting and stuff like that,
Oh,
aren't
yeah,
you?
definitely.
OK, so you can do the painting.
And I'll do all the DIY, all the messy stuff.
Yeah, you do all the messy stuff. Yeah. See? Perfect partnership. Now, I'm a little bit overwhelmed by this house. I've gone in there and I don't really know where to start. And if I feel that, you can guarantee other buyers will too. It's the garden and the dining and kitchen area. They have to do something about it. They need to create a much bigger open space. But you know what I'm really worried about? that Ali's going to try and do it himself, and this is not a job for an amateur.
The advice that she has given us, I think, is brilliant. This room is a bit dull, so to make it more appealing, that is the best way to go, I would say.
Maybe I'm going to try to do it myself. I don't know yet. I'm going to get some advice from a builder, and then I might just go for it.
No, Ali, leave it to the professionals. The garden is another matter, though. And to save a bit of money, Ali has roped in his parents to help Rahima out.
These guys love it. It's just as the younger generation, we don't just stay away from it. I've never done any gardening, so it's the first time in 28 years.
Which might explain why the garden was in such a state.
You know, when people say it's relaxing, I don't see what's relaxing about it. I hate it.
While Rahima struggles outside, Ali has thankfully called in an expert.
It's timber, and so is that.
After a thorough survey, structural engineer Al has a plan.
You want a steel beam, and that essentially takes the load above it. It'll give you an open plan between the kitchen and dining. He can insert the beam, saw cut either side, so for you to move the wall afterwards, which becomes cheaper to do.
But at a total cost of £540 just to support the wall, any major work outside is under threat.
Something has to give a miss, so whether we don't focus on the garden and focus solely on in the room, in the dining and the kitchen, or if we have to do both, we can't do everything that was recommended to us.
Yeah, I think that it's more important to concentrate in the room.
Next time at George and Carrie Ann's, where bringing some character to the dull downstairs should be their top priority.
There's a fine line between personal taste and blandness. And my job is to try and meet in the middle.
That's me.
I find it so strange that your clothes are really colourful in your house, isn't? Was this a conscious decision to keep it this neutral? Because when you walk in, you're just faced with magnolia, buttermilk, country cream, whatever you call it. So if you put something along there and along there, maybe in this sort of colour or this colour, you could be quite bold. Another option, of course, is wallpaper. You know, lots of people play around with feature wallpaper. Let me just pop those down there. What do you think of that? Do we hate it? Do we love it?
Well, we definitely don't hate it. Actually, it's... Yeah, I can live with that.
Mm-hmm. I think that this would appeal to families, this house. So this area here, I would like to see turned into a small office space. Mm-hmm. So somewhere where if you've got teenage kids, they can be doing their homework while you're cooking the dinner. You know, a small desk, maybe a nice chair with a pop of colour. Mm-hmm. But we really need to attack colour. Is it something that you feel you can tackle?
Yeah.
My interior designer will tackle that.
Because I think the thing is with this house is actually you can make a dramatic transformation in 7 days by just being clever with colour.
And it's the same story for the underused conservatory.
I feel that this could be an incredible space, but I feel at the moment it's utterly, utterly wasted. Have you ever had any plans? Have you ever thought about what you could do with this, or has it always been like this?
Well, at one time I had recliners in here and a few chairs where people could actually come out and sit down and chill out and have a drink and have a chat.
Because one of the things that I think would work brilliantly here is if you reclaim this and made it back into your dining space. So take the dining table and chairs from that space there and bring it into here. Again, continuing the blue theme or the sort of duck egg. These are some of the samples that I've picked up. You could think about something like this lovely voile, which would work really well. So I'm just going to drape this over you just to show you. Another option, of course, is that you can get those lovely roller blinds that drop down that have some form of colour or pattern or fabric. This kind of colour that you would put on the walls. And then that on the floors. So you see instantly it's warm, coupled with that lovely white dining furniture that you've got, would just transform this space for relatively little money. What do you reckon?
I like it.
Yeah?
And I could live with it.
I feel with this house that you need to inject colour downstairs. You need to make it a memorable property.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 7 days?
Yep. 7 days.
You can do it?
6 days.
Perfect. I'm hoping George and Carrie Ann are on board with all the suggestions, because I do feel I've sort of bombarded them with lots of different colours and fabrics. Fingers crossed they are, because they both want to set sail for pastures new, but if they don't make those changes, they could be here for quite some time.
I really thought she was wonderful, actually. She came up with some great ideas, criticised where criticism was needed. So I was quite pleased. Being a bland sort of a guy, she's actually put coloured ideas into my mind.
Nothing bland about your jumper, George, but it's back to the beige when they hit the shops.
Marine splash is nice.
No, these are more my colours here.
No. You seriously telling me that?
OK, then this is it. You can pick whatever you want.
I will do.
I'm compromising on that.
After a lifetime of magnolia, this is a huge step for George.
Have they got a small one up there? Yes, they have. That one there, the one in your hand.
The hand,
right. What do we think? Yeah, I'm thinking we should go for that one.
Actually, that's quite nice.
Yeah, and that looks nice in that tin.
Yeah, all right then.
I think it's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Who knows where this will end? Finally, I'm at Ruth and Megan's terraced house, where the abandoned first-floor room has me baffled.
What do you use this for?
It's just used as a spare bedroom if anybody comes to stay.
Because you've got that open staircase, it's not very private.
Yeah.
And it would put, I would say, 9 out of 10 buyers off.
Right, OK.
I do love that exposed beam. I think that's beautiful. So the best thing you can do is take out all the railings and the banister and get it boarded up. Keep this, because this is lovely, but the rest of it needs to come out because this serves no real purpose. It kind of just feels like a sort of dumping ground at the moment as opposed to a proper room. Now, your bedroom is a lovely, vibrant pink, isn't it? And yours upstairs, I've seen the wallpaper and the sort of greys and the taupe colours.
Yeah.
Any other colours that you like?
My favourite one is like a bluey colour, like the curtains.
Because I was about to say what I think would work really well in here is a cornflower blue. You know, that lovely, strong, rich colour. The other thing you need in here is a bed. It could easily fit a double bed in here, not an enormous double bed, but like the smallest one you could get. If you had that, people would come and go, wow, look, you can get double bed in here.
Yeah.
Then it's upstairs to Ruth's bedroom on the top floor.
I'm a big fan of loft rooms. I think loft rooms are great. They add so much more space to your property and done properly, they can be a real asset. Now, I want this to feel like a luxurious suite. And one of the things that the other sellers, when they were looking around your house, said was there's no storage. There's nowhere to hang anything.
No.
And they walked into that space at the back there where your radiator is.
Yeah, you could have wardrobe space in there or some built-in storage in there.
Why don't you?
I've just never really thought about it. Because you don't always think yourself.
No, and it's such a space that's crying out for something.
Yeah.
And storage is one of the top 3 things that people look for when they're buying a house.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got it, and you're selling to someone with no imagination or vision, your house is out. It's been discounted.
Yeah.
So you need to find yourself a good carpenter. Up for it?
Yes,
This is
definitely.
going to be easy. Don't worry about homework for the next week. Tell your teacher I said don't worry about it. Now, this house has got so much going for it, but for me, the problems start when you go upstairs. They've got a lot to do. Megan's at school, Ruth works full-time, and they've only got 7 days, so they really need to hit the ground running.
I can see where she's coming from, especially with the spare bedroom. I think boarding that banister will just make it feel like a bedroom. And the colour, I can understand that as well. And putting a bed in, people can see when they're coming round and see what it's actually used for.
The biggest task here is boxing in the staircase, so Ruth asks Carpenter Dean for his advice.
Take all this off, get all that out, do a false frame, and then board straight onto it.
Yeah, and then is it just a matter of me painting it then?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Handrails.
And to quote for storage options in the bathroom.
So a rough idea of price for it all, just off top of your head?
Off top of my head, I'd say your worktop, your drawers, your carcasses, your side panel handles. I'd say you're looking between 250 to 300.
Right, OK.
Then she can crack on with decorating the spare room.
Oh, that's a nice colour, is that? The plan is, I think, to paint this wall blue and do this wall blue as well and leave that wall cream. And I think it should blend in nicely together. I think it brightens the room up. No end.
Here in Bradford, my 3 sellers are using the £1,000 I've given them to improve their houses in the hope of tempting my buyer Graham to make them an offer.
Home is somewhere where you feel comfortable in, and, you know, because I'm doing it for rental purposes, is that they feel that it is home to them.
At Ali and Rahima's, they're committing over half their budget to inserting a steel beam into the wall to give them an open-plan kitchen diner. Ali is cutting costs, but hopefully not corners, by taking down the rest of the wall himself.
I'm going to take the plaster off first, loosen the mortar in between, and then hammer it out.
While Rahima strips the paint from the Edwardian cabinet, Ali and his cousin Humyan can drill holes to weaken the wall. Then, having removed the plaster, at long last, Ali can start swinging his sledgehammer. But after 5 exhausting hours, there's still plenty to be done, and Rahima's having second thoughts.
It's a really good idea having an open plan kitchen into the dining room, but I feel a bit down. I don't know how this is going to work out.
When she's positive, I'm a bit more positive, but if she's not positive, I don't think it's going to go well. We'll see. We'll see.
At George and Carrie Ann's, they need to turn their dining area into an office cum playroom, so George has roped in some family help to rearrange the furniture. Then he can start transforming the conservatory into a dining room.
I may get away with one coat if I keep dabbing there and putting enough paint on the brush. So I think that's quite good. I'm quite pleased with that.
Making it a true family affair, Mum Ella has also dropped by to help banish the beige from at least some of the living room walls.
Last time I did some painting, it was a garage door and Dad painted over it the day after.
You've done a grand job.
Amazing how something that takes so quick to do can just change something.
Well done, lass. Be proud of yourself.
Now get painting.
Meanwhile, over in Ruth and Megan's spare room, Carpenter Dean is removing the banister and replacing it with a partition wall, creating much-needed privacy. Total cost, £120.
It's really brightened it up and made the room look quite a bit bigger. I think it looks better than what I thought it was going to do. So much better.
Now to see if she can buy a bed to fit the room and her budget.
Just don't want the bedroom to look cluttered if I put a big bed in it.
You can get in the side drawers, or you can get the end drawers like that.
Extra storage is never a bad thing.
So a full price all in all.
Yeah, about 310.
Yeah, then that'd be absolutely fine.
At Ali and Rahima's, it's taken long hours and late nights, but the wall to the kitchen is finally down. But spurred on by that success, Ali is trying another trade.
First time for everything, innit?
Now is not the time to be learning on the job. Outside, Rahima is giving the corner cabinet a new look.
Well, this colour is a tealy colour, and I like the colour teal, and it just brings it out. It really complements the room. As soon as you walk in, it'll just be there.
But I'm not sure that this is the colour I'd have chosen to paint the brick wall.
It was supposed to be a little bit of darker green shade, but
olive to you?
Not that bright. Yeah, this.
There's really only one word for it.
It's bright. It's very bright.
You said it. Over at Carrie Ann and George's, Carrie Ann is hoping to bring even more colour to the downstairs with some homemade works of art.
I could either really love or really hate this at the end. It's just a bit of an experiment at the moment.
Then it's time to experiment with hanging wallpaper for the lounge.
I'm nervous about doing this because I've never wallpapered before.
Always
first time. What's this about?
You'll be doing a little bit more later on in life, so this is the best time to start learning. So run it down and then...
Long stroke, down, up and down, that's right.
That's the theory, now to put it into practice.
At the moment, it looks like it's going all right. I say that nervously, so fingers crossed. It'll look all right when we're finished.
For a first attempt, it's not looking too bad.
There's no bubbles, actually. You've done really good. Usually, when I put wallpaper down, you get bubbles.
At Ruth and Megan's, the biggest problem was the lack of storage in the loft conversion. But Dean is fixing that. Total cost for the fitting and the units is just under £300. And the new bed has arrived. It may be a tight squeeze on the stairs, but that's not the case in the bedroom.
I didn't think I'd get a double bed in here because I didn't think there'd be enough space. But I didn't realise till yesterday, till I'd finished painting, standing back at the window, when you stand back there, you can just see how big a room it is. It looks very, very well.
Over at Rahima and Ali's, the kitchen diner is being painted in the first green that I suggested.
It's not in your face, it's just, what's that word? It's a mild type of colour. I think we need, well, it always needed redecorating. I think Amanda pushed it in the right direction, and I think her recommendations have been really, really good.
Helping to tie the two spaces together is a new lino, costing £110.
I think it looks really nice, especially if you look at the wall that's been painted and for the lino, it looks really good. So at least somewhat looks nice at the moment.
It's the finishing touches at George and Carrie Ann's. They're laying the relocated dining table in the conservatory.
Right, then let's get that in the centre.
And proudly hanging her homemade pieces of colourful art that cost just a few pounds to produce.
It's been hard work, but it's been enjoyable work.
It's been a lot of work.
But we got there in the end.
What was a bland and soulless lounge has now been brought to life with colour. And by moving the dining table, they've created a practical space that doubles as an office and a playroom. Cost for the transformation, just under £265. And even George is colour coordinating now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it looks wonderful. Look at this, what a difference. Look at it, that's the same sofa, isn't it?
It is.
But it looks completely new. It's just so nice standing here and looking, because it feels like a unified space now, and it feels warm and homely and not stark and sparse.
And it all blends in. One little area blends into the next area,
Yeah.
so forth.
Yeah, I love the little office area as well. Because it also, what happens now, you know, anyone coming around, if you've got teenage kids, this is perfect. Yeah. If you've got young kids, it's still perfect because it shows you that you've got clearly defined spaces and you've still got your dining area out there as well.
That's how we looked at it after you mentioned it. We looked at that and we thought, yeah, that's a great idea. We saw what you saw. And that's why we did it.
Yeah. And look how brilliant the inside of my mind is.
Absolutely superb.
The underused conservatory has been reclaimed as a colourful standalone dining area by painting the walls and adding bespoke roller blinds.
It really, really works, doesn't it? And again, standing here and looking back into the sitting room, it just flows really well. Do you think you've got the knack for it now? Is that the next house you move into?
I'll let you decorate.
I would have another go, but I'd have to call you in first.
Yeah, I'll come round. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry.
At Rahima and Ali's, the work inside has cost just over £1,000, but they found a little bit of money to add some colour to the garden, which they've tidied up.
I can still remember when Ali was breaking down that wall, I was literally about to cry, but today, when I came down, everything was just there and it was just worthwhile.
Removing the wall to the dining room has given the kitchen an open plan look that should be much more appealing to buyers, even if some of the finishing may not.
Oh my goodness, it's a whole different room, isn't it? I think the space is brilliant, and I love the fact that it's opened the whole area up. When you come in here now, and for any family, it will really appeal, and you've made it memorable. These could do with a bit of finishing off. Yeah. I would suggest perhaps getting a proper plasterer in.
I am gonna, just didn't have the time, but I am going to get a proper plasterer in and just get it all done again.
Yeah, because otherwise I could send my 5-year-old daughter up. She'd probably do a similar job to it. Yeah, I mean, it's the bare bones, but if you've got somebody walking in here and they see the finishing of this, it might put them off because it does look a little bit haphazard. But I'm focusing on this bit because this bit looks lovely. Let me have a quick squiz at the garden. Garden doesn't even look like the same garden.
The neglected backyard has been tidied up and made more presentable. It could still do with a bit of grass, but all it's cost so far is just under £100 for plants and paint.
I think that looks lovely. And I think just by clearing the space, it will allow any potential buyer to really see that garden properly. It really will. Now you can sit back and look at the fruits of your labours. Are you pleased with what you've done, with what you've achieved?
Yes,
definitely.
Have you fallen back in love with the house a little bit, or are you still desperate to move?
Actually, I've fallen in love with this room, so...
I don't know, whatever makes you happy.
Sensible man, Ali. You see that? That's a lifetime of happy marriage, that. Whatever makes you happy, that's the way to do it.
At Ruth and Megan's, work to transform the spare bedroom is finally complete.
very, very hard work when I've been working full-time at the same time, coming home at midnight over these last few nights and catching up with everything, painting on a morning before I've gone to work, coming home last night and cleaning till nearly 4 o'clock this morning to get everything perfect. But look at the result.
This space didn't work as a bedroom, but by shutting off the staircase, it's become a bright and refined spare room. Total cost, including the bed, was just under £425.
You've transformed what I felt was pretty much a non-usable space other than a dumping ground into a proper bedroom now.
Yeah, I'm so pleased with the colours and everything.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad about your suggestions for blocking that in, because how much warmer has it made it feel in here as well?
What do you think of it? Do you like it?
It's really nice. I like the colours.
Are you going to try and bag this for your room now, or are you still happy with yours?
No, I'm still happy with mine.
And so the bulk of the budget and the money has been spent here, because I've stuck my head up in your bedroom, which looks lovely.
Moving the bed and adding a few hints of colour makes the loft bedroom feel much more sophisticated. And in the ensuite, there's new storage that this house was sorely lacking.
Just by putting that storage unit across there, because it's a tricky space, isn't it?
It is. The storage is absolutely brilliant now up there.
It's worked really well, hasn't it?
And the colour in the bathroom as well, like new accessories with towels and bath mat. It's just made it.
It's funny, isn't it? It's the little things.
Yes.
People underestimate the power of dressing a room well.
Yeah,
People
and
don't-
colour as well.
Colour.
Frightened a bit of using colour.
But pulling a look together, people just think, oh, they'll do that when they move in themselves. And they do, quite often they don't. So what you've done is spot on. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm in the Yorkshire city of Bradford, where my 3 sellers are now ready to show their homes to my buyer. Ali and Rahima have made their house and garden feel more spacious.
It was a completely different experience for both me and Ali. I think it's all worked out in the end. Even if nobody buys the house, I'm happy to stay in there.
Carrie Ann and George have injected much-needed colour and personality into their home.
We've put a lot more colour in, we've put a bit of effort in, a bit of material in just to sort of mix it up a little bit, and let's face it, it does look wonderful.
And Ruth and Megan have added storage and made a spare room feel more homely.
Surprised, very pleasantly surprised though. It's turned out so much better than what I thought it would.
The first home for my buyer Graham to view is Rahima and Ali's.
Initial impressions from the outside. What's going through the old investment brain?
It's got a bit of outside character.
Yeah.
Apart from the door.
Yeah, it's a shame about the door.
Yeah.
But
It'd be better with a Victorian door.
Absolutely.
Not the greatest of starts. Hopefully the kitchen diner will win him back round.
What do you think of the size of the space?
Well, the size is all right, but, you know, the kitchen needs a lot of work doing to it, a lot of TLC to it.
It's whether or not looking at the size of the room and the amount that you would need to do to get it up to your standards is making you run for the hills or not. I mean, what is going through your mind?
Nothing's really been done professionally, and it needs a lot of money to put into this house.
Ali's lack of skill has really let this room down. Hopefully Graham will appreciate the tidied up garden.
This is pretty easy to maintain.
The problem is with the garden, because it's on a terrace and we're climbing up again, it's got plenty of space, but it's not usable. At the top there, it's just full of weed.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm
becomes
no
a tip.
psychic, Graham, but I'm not getting a good vibe from this one.
No, it's not.
One very definitely down. Let's see if Carrie Ann and George's semi could be a more exciting investment for Graham.
So here we go. A very, very different prospect this time. What do you think?
Flat, easy access, off-road parking.
Well, let's get inside and see how much you think it's worth.
This is sounding more promising, and the colourful lounge will certainly make an impression.
So come through.
Yeah, it's a lot better, this.
Get it on cold standing.
Yeah, it's brighter.
Yeah.
It's rentable, very rentable.
Is this the sort of thing that when you're looking for a property and you're looking for the potential to add it to your portfolio, this is the sort of thing that appeals?
Yeah.
Because you don't even need to think about this, do you?
No,
Buy it, you get the keys, you hand the keys
That's
over.
right, yeah.
It's also got a conservatory, and
see that.
from the conservatory you can see quite a tiny garden,
Right,
which is
right.
perfect.
Yeah, let's go
Should we
and
go have a look? So here is your conservatory. And look, I reckon that is a perfect sized garden for you.
Just right for me, yeah.
It's nice and contained, but it's also small enough not to have to keep thinking about the maintenance. Yeah. Conservatory-wise, what do you reckon?
It's a lovely size, bright, it's clean, and it's very rentable.
This house is almost selling itself.
The great thing about up here is you've got the master bedroom with built-in wardrobes, you've got a single bedroom, and then this again, you could get a double bed in here easily.
You could get it.
Great views out the back.
Yeah.
Price-wise?
I'd say 135.
Oh, not bad, 139,950. Yeah, and I think the guy would be open to an offer on that as well.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting prospect, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is an interesting prospect,
All right, okay.
After such a positive response, let's see if Ruth has done enough at her terraced house to keep in the game.
So last but not least, you get a lot of house for your money here. Doesn't have off-road parking, does have permit parking, and there's also parking at the back. What are you thinking?
It's rentable.
It is. For me, it's got a lot of potential. I think it's a beautiful property, and what it has that maybe some of the other ones don't have is lots of character. In abundance. There's some really lovely little features to this. Let's get inside.
I'm starting to feel cautiously optimistic here.
So here's your kitchen. It's nice, isn't it?
It's a good dining kitchen, this. It's got a bit of character to it.
It's just got a nice feel to it, but I'm thinking from a girly point of view, not from an investment rental point of view. Aesthetically, it's pleasing to one side.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's well presented. It is very nice.
All right, let's go and look at some of the bedrooms then. I shall lead the way.
Upstairs, first stop is the now far more homely spare bedroom.
Size-wise, decor-wise, would you do anything?
No, the size-wise is okay. Big bedrooms.
So I guess with this one, in terms of the rental market, it's not as straightforward as the modern house, is it?
No,
because you've got a slightly smaller target.
Well, you've got a smaller target to aim for from a tenant's point of view. It'd have to be a family with probably 2 teenage children, somebody who's eco, wood burner,
character,
character of the house. Somebody who'd want to jump on the bus or even the train, you know.
Well, let's have a look at the rest of it, because like I say, it's the character of this. It's just that it's a great house.
On to the master bedroom suite with the newly added storage.
That's very nice, Very nice. It's utilised all the space.
It's a quacky house, isn't it? It's not your kind of bog standard.
Yeah, it's completely different to what we've seen up to now. Yeah.
What about price-wise?
For this, 135.
Cool, almost 137,950. Yeah, you're good. Can't get much past you.
No chance of an offer on Rahima and Ali's, but time to find out if either of the other two has Graham interested.
So we've had a bit of a whistle-stop tour, 3 incredibly different properties. I can almost guarantee there's one of them that you're absolutely not wanting to go back to a second viewing for, and that is the house with the open-plan kitchen diner. That was pretty much a no from the outset, wasn't it?
That was a total no. The presentation, the poor garden, just needed a lot of work going to it.
Then we had the terraced house with the loft suite. What were your thoughts after looking at that?
You've got to look at it from a rental point of view.
I know!
You can't look
Can't you look at it from a romantic point of view?
You can't look at it from a romantic point of view. It may be a lovely house to somebody who wants to live into it, but it's just for a landlord. It's not. It's absolutely nothing.
Okay. What about the modern house with the conservatory?
The house with the conservatory, that was a very nice house. Ideal for renting, moving straight away, nothing to do with it. A lovely house. The next step, as far as I'm concerned, is turn up early on the morning, just to check the traffic out, then have a look, see what the rental value is of it, and maybe make an offer on it.
Excellent, exciting times. Do let me know. Good luck with it.
So Carrie Ann and George can look forward to an early morning visit from Graham and maybe even an offer.
That's fantastic.
That is excellent good news.
Yeah.
I'm well pleased, well pleased.
Everything that all the advice we were given, we're taking it on board. So Amanda's suggestions, fantastic.
Certainly helped.
Yeah.
Certainly helped.
They may not have ticked all of Graham's boxes, but the other sellers have all improved their property's saleability.
I am disappointed, obviously, but with all the changes that I've done, I'm sure we'll get lots of people coming through. It's an experience that we won't forget.
Yeah, I love that.
I am a bit good because I think we put so much effort into it.
Yeah, just how we've not been sleeping, we've just been working so hard.
I would say it was worthwhile. Irrelevant of what the buyer said, it's still our home and
yeah,
we love it, don't we?
We do, yeah.